Live from the Sportsnet Grill inside Marriott City Center. This is the Sports Interaction NHL betting show. Our expert panel and I will discuss everything NHL related in the betting sense. It's Justin Bourne, it's Cam Stewart, David Bastill with you. Let's start off in the Atlantic Division where the Toronto Maple Leafs are looking to get out, but there's a Stanley Cup winner in the division. It's in the state of Florida. It's not the Lightning, it's the Panthers. Who is your winner this year?
I mean, this is the most, engagement baiting thing in the world, but I actually do think the Leafs will win the division.
There we go.
Coming out hot. I feel like, this is a team that has had, it's got all this potential and just hasn't been pushed in a new way or a different way. And Craig Berube's that different voice that you just feel like if you get just a little bit more out of everyone, prioritize the regular season just a little bit more. Florida loses a couple guys. Could it be enough to shift the balance? I'm doing it.
And Justin and Dave, it's so hard after you win the cup. You know what I mean? To build it again. You see these older teams like the Blackhawks and Kings, how beat down they were. The more games you play, it takes a toll on a body. I think Berube is the perfect guy, Dave. This team, Austin Matthews, the captain, he's going to step up. Wall's back instead of Samsonov. So I'm telling you, the Leafs, I'm not sure they're going to go deep, but I think they're going to win the division.
Interesting. More on the Leafs in a bit, but let's talk about some dark horses because I'm circling right now the Boston Bruins at plus 500.
Good call.
Sure up the back end. It's Jeremy Swayman's net right now. Not that the two didn't get along because they
were
really
buddies.
did.
Right.
They really did. But in the athlete's mentality, sometimes if you're the guy, it's a different thing, Justin, isn't it?
It is. And, in terms of the dark horses, the Bruins, I think a lot of people are just like, how is this team, how are they still here? I kind of feel like they're going the other direction.
Okay.
I just feel like it's time for them. They've been close to being a non-playoff team. Everything's been going right. I kind of feel like it could be the other direction for them. The dark horse that I have written down is the Senators, which is the 10th straight year. Yep. I think people are like, here come the Sens.
It's like me and the Sabres. Ooh, Buffalo, Dave, when? Yeah. Some teams just are who they are, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if you're looking for value, you got to go a little bit deeper down. Yep. The picks we
plus
mentioned,
1,100 Ottawa Senators.
Right, and what are the Leafs? Plus 275 or somewhere in that ballpark. That's not great value. The Sens actually.
Sens got weapons. Like Stutzler, I expect even more from him, Dave. You look at this team and you go, how are they not better, right? And the thing is now with Ullmark, you got real goaltending. Corpusalo didn't give them anything. So I think the Senators are a good team. We wait on Buffalo, but it's the same story every year with the Sabres. So I got to believe Ottawa's the best dark horse at that price.
And they get another new coach bump, and you get full year of Pinto. And I don't know. I just feel like they're in a better spot.
Interesting. Let's talk Toronto Maple Leafs right now. Leafs over under 101.5 as far as points are concerned. Last year, 102 points, because it seems about right. Craig Berube takes over. Chris Tanev joins the team. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, new goaltending duo. But my main question for you on this, Justin, is can Joseph Woll handle this sort of workload?
It definitely is the biggest question mark. There was nothing more crushing for Leafs fans than going into Game 7 last year, and he just disappeared. Yeah. So, it's a legit question. The thing that makes me feel better about it, Stolarz is legit. If you looked around the league last year,
he's underrated.
He is, and all the goals saved above expected stuff. He was a guy who was highly rated. So I think he's going to be there if Woll isn't. And then you talked about Tanev makes Riley better. Ekman-Larsson's a nice fit. Hakanpää comes in. I just feel like there's enough there that, I think they're going to be over that number.
I agree.
Austin Matthews' goal total is at 54.5. Last year, he almost hit 70. Doesn't that seem a little low for you?
Yeah, it does. It's too low, Dave. And the thing is, too, now that you're the captain of this team, you're going to have to step up and lead by example. Austin Matthews, he even missed games and he scores goals. All he does, if this guy turns it on, he can be like, you see him, Dave, he gets him in bunches, too. Mm-hmm. He's a very dangerous guy, and I think this year it's going to be his coming breakout party. I would not be shocked if he got 70.
The only thing I wonder about that is if you're Berube and you come in, you say to Matthews, we need you to be like Crosby. We want to win now. We don't care about those numbers. Can you win me the Selke and make that a priority?
He's been better defensively, though, hasn't he, Dave? You got to get, people rip on Matthews, but you watch him defensively. He's been a hell of a lot better.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. 102.5 is his point total. Last year it was 107, so he's kind of flirting with that century mark. Are we going over? Are we going under?
I'm going over for sure. I think he could double the assists he has last year. I'm not as sure on the goal total. I think he'll be around that mark. I might take the under even on the goals.
So you know what? Points is probably better than goals, right, Justin?
Right.
Because I agree. I think Berube's he's gonna be more of a setup guy too, but I still think he can attain the goals.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Ottawa Senators. Yes, those Ottawa Senators. Yep. Travis Green is now in charge as the head coach of the team. They got a brand new goaltender in Linus Ullmark, which should solidify a position that's been really
Brutal.
Yeah,
Let's call it out for what it is.
It is. It really is.
Good.
David Perron will add a little bit of offense, even though he is aging at this time. Sports Interaction has the over-under at a whopping 90.5. Now, last year, they didn't hit 80. Is 90.5 points a little too much?
The books aren't stupid, Dave. They put up a big number for a reason. Ottawa totally underachieved. And what's the difference between their goaltending and Allmark? Allmark was a stud there.
He's 12 points?
I don't know. Compared to the guys that they've had last year, I think Stützle is good. They got. We talked about Pinto. I look up and down this roster. They should be better. And there's a couple aging teams too. I got to believe that like the Senators hit like 92, 93 and just get there.
Yeah.
Just get there.
I like them over too. The other thing is I think once a team turns a corner and says we're no longer trying to just tank and get picks, we want to win. I can see them being more aggressive in season and saying, hey, we're short this, let's go get it. It's a deadline, let's go add. So for me, that's a team that because of what they're trying to do, I think they'll get there.
They had key injuries. I like Ottawa.
Yeah.
Interesting. Moving along with the Ottawa Senators too, and reminding our viewers, you are not listening to the Ottawa Senators radio network.
I wish we were.
This is the Sports Interaction betting show, but we have a lot of
like the
Ottawa
Sens.
Senators love on this.
A lot of love.
Tim Stützle right now, points 84.5. That would be career high. Last year he hit 70.
Yeah. No, I'm such a
Over.
believer. I sound like such
Sorry.
a...
Hey, everybody! Yeah, you're right, Dave.
Let's go Sens!
Yeah. I should get some of that Sens coat. Starter Sens jacket.
I really feel like he just needs a good start. I love Stützle. He's electric. I think he's over that easy. That's one I'll be placing myself.
And you know what? And that's one of those situations where he's been in the league for a bit, and now we see that progression.
Yeah, it's time.
Next level. Montreal Canadiens is our next topic of discussion. Sports Interaction has the Canadiens at 77.5 points. Last season, it was at 76. Marty St. Louis, one of my favorite coaches in the
Guy's
division,
amazing.
outside of Paul Maurice, of course, has a couple of young stars. They bring in a Patrick Laine, which is a little bit of a recycle project where they hope they can generate what he was with the Winnipeg Jets. What are your expectations on the Montreal Canadiens?
Well, the other thing I said about the Sens, like they're trying to win now. They're kind of done with the tank and okay, let's go win some hockey games. And so that makes you think that they're going to push and add and do all those sort of right things. They're not there yet. They're just not. They don't have enough good players in a division where there's so many good teams. So if we're going to think the Sens are better and Montreal's better and Buffalo's better, who's going to lose the points? Someone's got to give up points. So it's tough. It's just tough for me to think they're all going to get better. I think Montreal's probably close to that number. I'm still not ready to buy on Montreal.
They're going to give up a lot of goals, Dave. I think they're going to score a lot of goals. What about Montembeault, though? Hasn't he improved?
Yeah.
He's one of those guys, so that's the whole key. Like, if he takes another step, Montreal could hit their points over. But if we like the Leafs over and Ottawa over, who do we take? Sabres under? Not everybody in the division can go over, right?
It's funny you talk about the goaltending, too, because I would have never have believed myself a couple years ago if I said, this guy actually has a legit chance to make the 2026 Olympic roster.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He does.
I mean, the Canadian goaltending situation is a completely different
No
topic.
offense to him, but that
Exactly.
says
We
something.
can name
Yeah.
4 USA guys before we hit number one.
Maybe
It's
five.
maybe
Maybe five.
five.
Cole
Yes.
Caulfield, I'm expecting big things from him as well. Over under 68.5 points. I am taking
That's
him.
light.
Oh, buddy, way over.
Way over.
Way over.
Okay.
Caulfield's
Too late,
a
Dave.
stud. I mean, he's a 40-goal guy this year for me.
Number change as well to number 13. Sometimes karma has a factor of saying, you know what,
That's true.
Cole?
Yeah.
That's a really nice thing to do. Let's move on to the Metropolitan Division, where the New Jersey Devils are the favorites at Sports Interaction at plus 220. I hate to be chalk myself, but I am huge on the New Jersey Devils this year, so I can't sit there and say this is my dark horse because they really are the
Dave, I came in hot with my Jack Adams, Sheldon Keefe pick. So we're not talking about the war Jack Adams. Shut up. But anyway, I think it'd be perfect from the Leafs to the Devils. And they were just so beat down last year. You got a real goaltender now. It's like the Devils, it's just one of those, I could see a complete turnaround with this team. You look at the Rangers, every time we go to the playoffs with this team, I know Shesterkin's the best, but they look slow-footed to me. Like they're just a little bit behind, like with team speed. I know they're tough, but I love the Devils this year. I hate the fact that they're chalk.
Yeah, the Rangers, to me, like you're aging out your best guys, Panarin, Trocheck,
Good call.
Zibanejad. To me, they're kind of going that direction. love the Islanders guys, but
Yes, the Islanders.
it's not happening.
The family bloodlines.
I'm with you guys on the
Yes.
Devils. Markstrom's obviously a big deal, but to me, getting Dougie Hamilton back is a huge
Justin,
thing.
I went to an Islander game last year. It was like a Tinder party. Like all the girls are like smoking and wearing jerseys and stuff. Like, what is this, date night? I actually had a great time. I did like the $67 vodkas, but other than that, it was a great time at the
Plus
Islanders.
$1,200, by the way, the New York Islanders to win that
There we
division.
go.
You know what? Pretty good division, though.
Yes.
Now, this is kind of chalky as well because the Devils plus 220, Rangers plus 250, Carolina Hurricanes.
They're going down, Dave. This is a team. Honestly,
Really?
I'm going to
See,
tell
'cause
you.
I'm a buyer. I'm buying.
I'm
the
selling.
Carolina Hurricanes.
I'm selling. I don't know this team. I don't think they can do it again. I really like Brind'Amour as a coach, but I just look at this team and go, "You've been there." Like they're kind of like to me at the end of their rope. Okay. I know the goaltending's really good, Dave, but like really, like what do you think? Like, why do you like Carolina? I just look at them and go, "It's the same old, same old."
I love the defensive six they have.
They got
love
good
the structure
defense.
they play. I think they roll 4 lines. I'm actually suspect on their goaltending.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I hope
You're
the
not
Russian
Freddie
coach-
Anderson?
Chekhov's the guy this year.
Yes.
So that's the thing, right? Dark horses. I'm not even going to let you buy the Flyers or the Blue Jackets, either of you. So don't give me Jackets.
No, there's no
Flyers, dark horses. I'm looking Capitals, Penguins, Islanders as dark horses. Are you going to sell me on any of these
Islanders.
I'm in on the Penguins. I think
Okay.
you look at where they're at with their contracts. They just re-signed Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Carlson that they got. Like they aren't looking at their roster and going, in a couple of years we're going to be good. Like Dubas is going to be there, and they got to win now.
It's now or never.
So if they make some moves in season to get better, they were already a team that was on the fringe of playoffs. I could see the Penguins being pretty good.
You know what it is? If the Islanders just had 1 or 2 more guys who could score,
They don't
like
have
I
top
watched
end.
them, that's the whole thing. I'm like, damn, man, these guys are actually good. The goaltending's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like, get a finisher.
That's Carolina
Then they'd
to
be
me
good.
too. Carolina's
Yes,
like they're
I agree.
both built to lose in the first or second round because they don't have the elite top end guys.
Yeah, that's not a good building block either. Let's talk Alex Ovechkin. Goal total right now at Sports Interaction is 29.5. Last year, 31 goals. Ovi is 60 away from surpassing the Gretzky mark, which will not be done this year. That's the good news from
Will it
my
be
side
done?
of it. Will
Period?
not
be
Will
done.
it be done? Justin, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, it's not going to be done.
think-
Aging Ovechkin.
Me and Justin are on the same page. They're like, what's Washington playing for other than Ovi? He's going to be getting Dave every power play, every shot. Me. Shots.
There were times last year, guys, that Ovechkin would go 7, 8, 9, 10 games, no goals. We've never seen that.
that's
He's
true.
not getting any younger, and I'm guessing the guy isn't much of a health nut either, is he?
I've seen some pictures of him playing volleyball over in Russia. He's not in peak shape.
I'm not going to say they're sponsored by Stoli Vodka, Dave, but they do like to party.
But I will say, I have been an Ovechkin goal hater for about 7 straight years, and if I don't do it now, I mean, I got to stick with it until I'm right. Eventually, he's not going to score 30 goals. So.
I'm going under 29.5. I have Ovechkin around the 24 to 25
Wow,
mark,
Dave.
which would be
That's low.
Oh, I don't know, 80% of the goals on the PP.
Yeah, right.
And that's
a couple of empty netters.
Yeah. Ugh, empty netters. Ugh. Let's move along to the Pacific Division. 3 Canadian teams in it. The Oilers are heavy chalk at Sports Interaction to win it. Plus 120 on the Edmonton Oilers. And the book is basically telling us that the Oilers have won the division in September.
Yeah, and a half. I mean, imagine picking anyone else. Are you gonna?
I don't know. Vancouver, to me, Demko's out, and you know what? They gave the Oilers all they can handle with a third and fourth string
If
goalie.
they're going to do anything.
What?
Right? He better be healthy if they're going to do anything.
Vancouver's awesome, Dave. Like, look at the guys they have on the team. JT Miller's coming off a huge year. All their guys are good. And they had, like, literally, I'm looking at the goaltending going, this isn't like a second stringer. They did it, like, after DeSmith. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want from Vancouver? They dominate. They beat up Edmonton earlier, too, bro. Like, I'm just looking at the prices. I'm just saying, like, sure, Edmonton's probably going to win the
Plus
division.
450 for the Canucks to win the
I
division.
need a little bit more, Dave.
Yeah.
More? If you give me 5 or 6,
Give me
I'm
more.
biting more.
The Oilers, though, they had Arvidsson, who I love. He's a
Yes.
30-goal guy
Arvidsson,
who
too.
falls on goaltenders. Jeff Skinner, he was wait 1,000 games, no playoff games.
Nope.
Like,
Yeah.
this guy.
He's the new Joel Bolmeister, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
but then Bowmeister made the playoffs and won a cup.
Yes,
You know,
he did.
Oh.
it's right there for Skinner too.
Dark horses.
got
What are you
Canucks.
selling me? Okay. Well,
Are they a dark horse?
okay.
Who else do I get?
Are you looking at the Kraken at plus 1,600?
I did last year. That was a real big
What's the
mistake.
Kings number?
Plus 500.
King's number, you can talk me into a little bit.
I don't know.
You can talk me
Quentin
into
Byfield's
Vegas.
going to be better.
big time.
Yeah.
Take a big step. Literally big step.
Yes,
You like Vegas?
I don't mind Vegas just because Kelly McCrimmon seems to do something magical every year, and the NHL goes, "Oh, how did that happen?" You know, and
How does
so-
their goaltending maintain itself, Dave? Honestly, these guys have been overachieving.
well,
Like maybe I'm just
Hayden
wrong.
Hill's Canada's #1 right now, is he not?
I know. Isn't that wild?
It's Hill and Montembeau.
I was going to say that's interesting. Good luck in 2026, Canada. So dark horses, we don't really have one. I
like
don't
the
think.
Kings.
Okay, outside
But
of the
they're,
Kings.
but they're not going to win the division. They're
No,
not beating the
no,
Oilers.
no.
The Oilers can lose 4 guys to injury, and they're still going to make
Yep.
win
Okay,
the division.
let's talk Edmonton Oilers. Break down the Oilers last season, 104 points, a Stanley Cup appearance. Jeff Skinner joins the team. You've also mentioned Victor Arvidsson joins the team. There's some heavy hitters on this team. Sports Interaction has them deemed at a 108.5 is the over-under. That's a lot of points. I look at the Oilers and say, you know what? I see a President's Trophy as well.
I agree with you.
I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I do see it.
Yeah. Well, how about Stu Skinner? You know, this guy for years now has been confidence issues. He looks great when he's on. He looks terrible when he's not. You take a team to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. How's your confidence going into the next year? Like this could be when we get to Vezina Trophy later, talking dark horses. This could be a guy who suddenly, if he feels himself, he's big, he's on a great team. It wouldn't shock me if he put up great numbers. And
He's resilient too. Like there's some times that things could have gone really bad for Stu Skinner, and then Dave he turned it around.
I thought
he's
it
a
was
lot.
over. Yeah.
I think he's a lot mentally tougher than he is now, and I think he's going to take the next step. The thing is, Dave, you talk about like McDavid's points and stuff. I think it's one of those situations where they need to be healthy going to the play. It's Stanley Cup or bust for the Edmonton Oilers. So if there's any type of nagging injury or a problem, I think they'd sit him out because they're so damn deep that other guys can pick up the slack. That's why I worry about when we're talking about his totals for overs.
So totals for McDavid's 130.5. Under?
Yeah.
Are you thinking under?
150? I don't know.
Really?
How low.
What do you think, Dave?
I'm kind of in between with it. Like, I think he's an Art Ross winner already. Like,
Yeah.
I should say, and I know that's no breaking news at all. But what's the Art Ross number going to be? 135, 125?
To me, it's about possession. Their team is going to have the puck the whole game. He's going to be the offensive zone 65% of the game, and when you're that good, you're going to get a lot of points.
And my thing is, in that division, when you're playing the Ducks, the Sharks, the Kraken, the Flames, that's like stat night, isn't it?
No,
It's a good point.
So McDavid over-under is interesting at 49.5 for goals. Is he a 50-goal guy?
How about under and more assists?
Yeah. It depends if he wants to or not. There's the 1 year he was
true.
like, I'm just,
He's won a Rocket Richard
I'll
before.
prove to you I can do it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's his default setting though. So I'm still on the underside of that with, 100 assists again.
Last year we saw coming out of Evan Bouchard.
Dude, that guy's shot's unreal.
84.5 points is the over-under. If he hits that mark, it screams Norris Trophy. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but Evan Bouchard point totals. Are we looking over-under Bouchard points? 84.5.
Yeah,
It's a
I'm
lot,
over.
Dave. I'm over too, but it's a lot. It's a good number by the book.
He's going to be the distributor for, a couple of guys on an unbelievable power play.
Yep.
He also had twice as many 90-plus mile-an-hour slap shots as the next highest guy in the league last year. He just bombs it all day long, and those go in.
You bring up good points, Dave. Like the slugs in that division, like 9 to 3. You know what I mean? There's going to be nights where they almost get double-digit goals. So that's
It's
stat
like,
sheet fever.
Bring on the back-to-back San Jose Sharks.
Exactly. Yes. That's Jay Sharkey.
Okay, so
Yes.
so one more. It's Sports Interaction's Leon Draisaitl. 110.5 points last year. He hit 106. So we are anticipating even a better total for a guy that probably could challenge for an Art Ross as well.
It's a lot of points, Dave.
Okay.
What you're going over?
I'm going over.
You're
with
going
Draisaitl.
over?
If McDavid collects, who has
Yeah.
the goal or the assist with it.
Yeah, I just think their team's going to have the puck the whole time. So I'm over on Draisaitl to love the player.
Okay, Cam Stewart's Vancouver Canucks. The total at Sports Interaction, 99.5 points last season, 109. That's a droppage of 10 points, Cam. No respect for the Canucks, says the book.
As I said, the Vancouver Canucks were beat down and they played great. Like, what are people seeing?
I'm rattling the cage.
Yeah, I know you do, Dave. We haven't talked about the Jets yet. Rattle, rattle. Anyway, no, I just think the Vancouver Canucks are a team with great young players on their team. I love Rick Tocchet, too. Yeah. He's so real. Like, he calls out his team when they suck. You know what I mean? He's a very, very smart man. I just think, obviously, the Oilers are the best team, but don't sleep on the Canucks. Like, they're one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, and when we get to Vezina discussion stuff, Demko's
Yes.
another name that'll probably come up.
Agreed.
So, you good coach, good goaltender, you had some elite top-end guys.
Yep.
I could definitely see them around that mark. I do think the book is right, that there'll be a bit of a step back, but, so I'll take under, but I think it'll be close.
And you know what? Jake
Over.
DeBrusk, the free agent, is solidifies a spot on the top 6.
Underrated player.
Probably could slide, between 6 and 9 as far as forwards is concerned. Most likely a little bit higher. Let's talk Quinn Hughes, one of the favorites to win the Norris Trophy. His over/under total 83.5 last year. He was in the 90s.
Over. Look at the assists alone. Like, this guy's a machine,
the
man.
guy plays 25 plus.
Yes.
I feel like
Right.
a lot
I like
of these
that.
lines, it's like, if he stays healthy, he's going to get there. Does he play 82? If he plays 82, he's definitely getting there.
Great call, Jess. And you look at the numbers and you go, because a lot of these guys hit their numbers playing 71, 73. Like, I was going over it going, how many? And it's hard to predict injury, right, Dave?
Right.
So it's one of those things. But yeah, he plays,
Healthy
he gets
for
over.
sure he gets there.
For sure.
Finally, in the Pacific Division, the Calgary Flames, 81.5 points, slated to finish near the bottom of the division. It's turnover time in Calgary, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't have a good thing
Under.
to say. I love what they're doing. I love the idea, but under on whatever you have to suggest about the Flames.
And what about the goaltender, too? You got Darth Vader and Wolfman.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I love Vladar.
I'm waiting
He's
for a
my guy.
Wolf impression.
Oh!
Okay, thank you.
You know what? He's going to play a lot, Dave.
You know what? He's going to get Calder votes.
No,
too,
no,
if he does okay.
That's a great point. Like, because he's going to be out there a lot. But yeah, the Flames are rebuilt.
Because they weren't exactly busy with PTO and Tyson Berry, Ryan Lombard's from the Florida Panthers, Anthony Mantha, who doesn't cross center. I mean, there's a lot of things there that the Flames.
They know who they are at
Yes.
this point, and that's fair. Sometimes you have to do that in the cap world.
My favorite division, the Central Division, where the Dallas Stars are the favorites, plus 220 at Sports Interaction. But they do have some pretty good competition with an Avalanche team that is right there, plus 230. The Preds are there at plus 400. They made a ton of changes in Nashville. Winnipeg Jets, the only Canadian team in the division, plus 700. Who do you like in the Central?
Nashville, Dave.
Nashville.
Yeah, ooh,
To win the division.
creepy Predators. That's my sleeper and division winner. Marchessault's there. I think Brunette's a good coach.
Steven Stamkos.
Stamkos is there for the power play, Dave. There's a lot of things to like about Nashville. Remember, they're always like short of that goal scorer. Marchessault is huge for them. They played well against Vancouver. They blew
They
that
acquire
game,
a
Justin.
time machine, they're going to be deadly. Let me tell you. You can get some of these guys back in about 5
Hot
years.
tub
Look
time
out.
machine.
Time machine. Anyway, I like Saros in that. I know he's small, but he's great. Like, it's one of those things, Dave. I think the numbers there. I don't know how you feel about Dallas or just like one of those teams. Onger, like, to me, like, I know he's one of the best goalies in the world. He was a little bit shaky, like when they played Colorado in the playoffs. We'll see.
Speaking of shaky, I don't know if I tried Skorgiev in the Avalanche net. Fantastic team.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Maybe the best forward defense combo in the league.
You're right.
But you still have Gorgiev in that.
Yeah, well, you just hope that behind a solid defense that you mentioned, that he can at least be passable. For me, the Stars are another team where they have great young players and great old players.
Yes.
Not quite in their prime. For me, the Avs, it's McKinnon and Rantanen. They got Kel McCarr.
Yes.
These guys are career prime guys, so I'm Team Avalanche.
What do you think, Dave, about Nashville as a sleeper?
Nashville's a really good sleeper. It's kind of scary how they build a team. Nashville, traditionally, watching this team from start, they're not spenders. And all of a sudden, the purse came out with Barry Trotz this offseason, and they spent hard. They went hard on their goaltender. They traded what was the number one goaltending prospect to the San Jose Shark. They picked up more assets. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm also looking at the Minnesota Wild at plus 1,100. I'm kind of curious what they do because they're always pesky. The Jets plus 700. I think I'm buying a playoff spot for the Jets. I'm not going to sit there and say division, but that's kind of what it looks like for me.
It's funny going into the playoffs the last few years. It's felt like the Jets have been on a letdown because they got off to these hot starts and they kind of peter out towards the end. I'd like to see just some consistency, great goaltending. I love the guys they got up front, Connor and Ehlers, and I still think they're a playoff team for sure. To win the division seems unlikely.
I love Connor. I just want him to stay healthy, Dave. Like, it's one of those situations. If Connor's healthy, that guy's lethal. And Hellebuck, a little bit shaky in the playoffs, but during the regular season, the guy's a monster.
Yeah, let's get more into the Winnipeg Jets. Scott Arniel is the new head coach of the Winnipeg Jets, if you want to call him that, considering that He was a Winnipeg Jet in the 1980s.
Yes.
He was a Manitoba Moose head coach. He was an assistant for a while, and now he has the head coach position. More exits than entrances with the Jets. Toffoli, Monahan, Dillon is going to hurt him. One of my favorites, Laurent Brossoit, really stable backup, no longer with the team. I think it is all about Connor Hellebuck if this team's going to do anything, and it kind of shows what he did during the postseason because he didn't do much, and neither did the team.
No, and it's tough when you're looking at your team and going, okay, we need more from Cole Perfetti, we need more from you, we need more from you, and you're just counting on that internal growth. It's, you're probably not going to be a better team. And that's their reality too.
It sucks, Dave. It's just one of those things, offensively challenged sometimes. I think Schauffele's going to bounce back, though, don't you? Mark Schauffele? Don't you think he's going to have a big year?
70.5 points.
Too low.
I think it is too low. I think he's a 75 to 80 point guy, especially if he's healthy. And as he goes, Kyle Connor on the wing probably hits his over as well. I really like what Josh Morrissey's become in the last couple of years because he went from that 30, 40 point guy to power play specialist, 65, 70 points. They have a nice core. I'm just not sure what surrounds this core.
The problem is it's a tough division. Everybody's like decent in it, right? Like it's not weak at all.
They'll challenge, and most likely, and I'm not really going out on a limb here, there might be 5 playoff teams in the Central.
I agree with you.
Right.
So that's the way that.
Well, we just talked about the Pacific. It's like there might be 3 there, so you can see 5 coming out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hart Trophy. This is usually a Connor McDavid trophy, plus 150 at Sports Interaction, 3-time winner. But we do have a lot of post winners on this. McKinnon's won it. Matthews has won it in 2022, 2019. Kucherov, Draisaitl 2020. I present to you my case of Jack Hughes at plus.
Yes, Dave.
I had that one too, but I have another one.
We've been reading each other's mail, Dave, doing football picks.
You got Hughes at plus 1,100. Is that what he is?
Yes.
How about Cale Makar plus 2,500? Cale Makar already.
It's a great price.
And it's a narrative award, right? It's like this guy is the assumed best defenseman in the NHL. I know Quinn Hughes.
Is that going to hurt him, though? Because a lot of times you're the best defenseman, so you're going to win the
Yes.
award.
Right,
but
for
you're not
sure.
going to win the Hart.
Well, and that's
point.
it. You're right. But if he's so far above the next guy, to me, he's Bobby Orr. He is present day Bobby Orr. And if, let's say, McDavid gets hurt or anything happens, he's next in line. Plus 2,500. That's
That number is stupid.
Yeah.
It should be way lower than that.
It should. Do we like anybody else on this list, Cam Stewart?
No, I got with Hughes. He was my dark horse, and McDavid, if you like chalk, Hughes.
What if Matthews is a Selke winner? Can he get himself?
He could. Yeah. I just like the price of Hughes.
Plus 1,000 there. So let's move on to the Art Ross Trophy. 5-time winner Connor McDavid, minus 155 favorite to win. They already have his name engraved into this version of
Connor
it.
McD has been engraved.
Yeah,
You got any dark horses? Or is it Chalk City?
You know what? The only thing I'd say, and it's in relation to my heart, Jack Hughes. I have Jack Hughes challenging. I think Jack Hughes this year is a top 3 point producer.
You're all in on Jack Hughes, Dave.
Heavy
I am
on
too.
Yeah, I am too.
I exactly
we all
thought
are.
going into this. He hurt last year, but I think his point per game pace was as good as anyone not named McDavid last year.
Yeah, and that shoulder better not pop out
Yeah.
again. Plus 3,000 Jack Hughes at Sports Interaction. I'm placing that bet.
And minus 150 for another shoulder surgery.
Stop it!
You're not going to give me a Jack Adams with brunette, Dave? It's 16? No?
What we are going to talk about is the Rocket Richard winner, 3-time winner Austin Matthews, the heavy favorite, minus 125. David Pasternak's in the conversation at plus 550. Connor McDavid's there at plus 900. I only say that because he's a 2023 winner.
Could I give you something stupid, Dave?
Fire.
Zach Hyman.
You're good at that.
Yes, I am. Zach Hyman, super dark
wins the
horse.
Rocket ahead of Matthews. The world's going to explode.
Plus 2,000.
Okay.
This city will explode.
Just want to throw it out there.
Value plays for me. Mikko Rantanen's plus
good call.
2,500.
Okay.
Like Rantanen's a 50-goal guy playing with McKinnon in his career prime.
Yep.
Brady Tkachuk. Brady Tkachuk was he?
That's a
39
wow.
or 40 goals last year.
That's
They're
bold.
good.
That's bolder than Hyman.
That's
bold.
It is. It's a big swing.
Hyping hot coming from this side of the
That's hand on the
Sens.
stove.
We're
Yeah, I'm
Team
with
Sens
you.
in here.
Let's blowtorch hot.
Let's move on to the Vezina Trophy. Connor Hellebuck, 2-time winner. Won it last year at plus 600, but he is not the favorite right now. Igor Shesterkin is the plus 550 favorite.
It's a good price, though.
Not bad. They're all priced 500 and above. Andrei Vasilevsky plus 1,200.
Where's Demko?
Demko is at plus 800.
It's a good price. Demko or Soros for me.
I'm looking at Jeremy Swayman as well as a possibility at plus 600.
Can you maintain this?
The biggest thing is like when you're placing these preseason bets, anyone can win the Vezina. Like, goaltending is such a crapshoot. So to me, I'm looking at who's a good team, who's got a good defense, and who could like shine. Your boy Kochetkov is on that list somewhere down there. What's he? He's plus 5,000.
See, that's
what about Markstrom?
Really
Value hunting.
Can you get like a total turnaround?
plus 1,200.
Plus 1,200.
Need a little bit
Nice
more.
there.
A little bit more, Dave. He's hoping 15 plus.
But you know what? The thing with Jacob Markstrom too is he has to have a rebound from what he did in the last year and a half with the Calgary Flames, because he was solid until that playoff start against the Edmonton Oilers, and then he kind of, he lost his cape somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
And I hope he gets that back in New Jersey because, well, we'll get to that in a second.
The other one, Skinner's plus 5,000 as well, and I talked him up a little already. So.
Okay.
Like it.
Norris Trophy winner, Cal McCarr at plus 250 is the favorite at Sports Interaction. Do we like anybody else on this board? Okay.
Hughes' number can't be much longer than that.
Yeah, plus 600, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bouchard, if he hits 100 points, would get a lot of votes.
I'm in that camp as well. I'm kind of curious to see what, and this isn't a dark horse. It maybe is a dark horse based on numbers and age, but Victor Hedman is now Mr. Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah.
He's won it before. He's going to be the face of the franchise. Not that he hasn't in the past, but he's had many. He's always been part of many faces.
Do you think he can stay healthy the whole season?
That's the thing. I think they're going to need him to stay healthy if the Lightning are going to do anything. And because I kind of have the Lightning in that 3-4 spot, and a lot of it will involve Victor Hedman at plus 2,000.
That's a good one. I like that if Tampa Bay is good. And then Heiskanen in Dallas.
Yeah,
if the Stars win the division.
Plus 1,100.
He's got that narrative momentum that people are starting to recognize him as one of the elite guys.
Okay. Calder, first-year player. We have a number of players here. I'm just going to free the board and say, what are you looking at?
Celebrini.
Okay.
Dave, you have to, because San Jose, that's just one of those things. He's just going to be out there.
They got a couple of rookies too, because Will Smith's in that conversation.
He could be good.
Askarov might get some looks too there.
That's right.
San
What do you
Jose.
think, Justin? You know any of these young guys?
Stankoven's my guy in Dallas. Just watching him in the playoffs and how dangerous he was at that size. It looks like he's wearing football shoulder pads at 5'8" or whatever he is. He's real good. And then Michkov in Philly deserves some love.
Yeah, Michkov is the chalk right now at Sports Interaction. They are anticipating a Philadelphia Flyer to raise the Calder Trophy. Now the good stuff. We're talking Eastern, Western Conference finalists. We're talking Stanley Cup to wrap up the program. Let's go to the East right now. Cam, we'll start with you.
Cut my mic.
Which Ottawa Senator team will represent the Eastern Conference?
I got a Final Four. I have who's going to play who, and then we go to the Stanley Cup, right, Dave? Don't we want to build it?
Yeah.
I have New Jersey versus Toronto.
Okay, you have New Jersey versus Toronto in the conference?
I had New Jersey winning the East, so we need someone to play New Jersey. God, I guess I picked Toronto too. Can I agree with you? Is that loud?
Really?
I think I agree.
No, nobody agrees with
Sorry,
me.
man, I agree.
I have.
You're not picking that, Dave. I know you're not. I can bet. No.
I would never bet Toronto.
I know.
Ever.
Smart man. That's what they do in Vegas. Just rip up the ticket, David Sharman.
I like the New Jersey Devils to win the Eastern Conference at plus 600. I'm looking at you, Boston Bruins, at plus 900 as a little bit of a value play.
Dave, this is a recipe for death if we're all in the Devils. That means fade them, right?
It is. I have a little bit of love for the Hurricanes, but a lot has to go right there, plus 700. But that would be my trio.
Poor Panthers, eh? No love for the defending Cup champs here.
Too hard.
Yeah.
I love them, but it's tough. It's difficult.
Bob had a spectacular run. I can't see.
He did.
He really did. You know what? They're going to be part of the mix.
They will.
But they're also going to be part of the mix when somebody sits in the second round and the Stanley Cup champions are out of the postseason. It's tough, man. These guys played until July.
Hockey's different than any other sport. The physicality, that's just doing it all again. It's so damn tough, man. It's almost impossible. It's crazy.
Justin, let's move on to the Western Conference. Your conference finalists. What are you looking at?
So Edmonton Oilers, we've said they're basically the default option at this point, and I think the Colorado Avalanche, I just love the ages of their best players. I feel like those guys are going to be so hard to eliminate. It's my two.
I got Edmonton and Nashville, Dave.
Edmonton and Nashville.
Can we parlay the Final Four? Is that possible?
I was going to. You know what? I'll try it out. The Preds plus 850 to win the Western Conference. Wow. Oilers are the chalk, as you guys know, at plus 350. Yeah. On this list, it's really hard to make a case outside of the first four: Oilers, Avs, Stars, and Preds. Jets are plus 1,200.
Sorry, Dave.
I don't know if that's going to be happening, unfortunately. You know what? I'll add to the mix and say the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
Pete DeBoer has been to 1 million conference finals.
They just
Would love to see
I
him
had
win a
Dallas
cup.
last year, Dave. They really let me down. Like, I thought they were going to go deeper.
You know what? But you know what? Some of these younger players that are coming up with the team, like the Stan Covens, the Y Johnsons, stuff like that. Like, are they going to be able to push to another level with still your aging guys like a Jamie Benn, a Tyler Seguin, guys like that?
You need Jason
Ruby
Robertson to
has
find it in
play
the
well.
playoffs. Hintz is awesome.
He has to, and they have a good defensive core. I actually think the Dallas Stars could win the conference. The
agree
Dallas
with you.
Stars
They
might
can.
be the Edmonton Oilers' biggest threat, but the Oilers are chalk for a reason. Right?
It's just weird to me, Dave. Like Ottinger's one of those guys you'd watch, and then in the playoffs it gets sloppy. Like it's really weird.
He's had some
I don't
really good
understand
playoff
it.
performances as well. Like if you remember a couple years
Versus
back,
Calgary was amazing.
The Dallas Calgary
Yes.
was what was it under 3 goals every single game.
That was some of the best goaltending ever.
he
But
can
then he
do
lets
it.
in
It's there for
bad
him.
ones, right,
Yeah.
Justin?
It
It's
really
really
was.
weird.
Stanley Cup predictions. Edmonton Oilers are chalk at Sports Interaction at plus 850. The Panthers are in that conversation at plus 900. Avs, Stars, Rangers in that order with the Devils in there. Devils plus 1,100. My Stanley Cup prediction, the New Jersey Devils at plus 1,100. Gentlemen.
Just because you hate Toronto and you want Sheldon Keefe to win it, never
Yeah,
appeared to be.
And the
You know
Jack
what?
Adams
I
for
want,
Keith.
I want more Sheldon Keefe boat selfie videos coming out when he wins the Stanley Cup. So
I got Edmonton over New Jersey, Dave.
Okay.
Canadian Stanley Cup, baby.
Okay.
They didn't do it. That got real close, and now they get it done.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm with Cam.
I can't believe it either. They're the original odd couple.
Edmonton Oilers. I just can't see anyone else coming out of the West.
We're
and doing it.
doomed.
Yeah.
Do we have any dark horses to conclude the show of the Stanley Cup where we might go a little off the board and say, oh, I don't know, the
Nashville or Dallas.
Predators?
Yeah, Nashville and Dallas.
Penguins. Penguins would be my if Sidney Crosby wins one, it's Tiger Woods in 2019 where he just completely shocks everyone and does it one more time.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Actually.
Boston Bruins plus 2,000.
Okay.
Everyone counts out the Bruins. You're right, Dave. They're like that odor, just lingering always.
Phone up Patrice Bergeron and say, one more time,
Yeah.
baby.
Krejci
One
comes
more
back.
time. Anyway, gentlemen, this has been a lot of fun.
Pleasure.
Thanks for joining us on the Sports
Thanks,
Interaction
guys.
NHL Betting Show. Check us out across all social media channels.